Hey guys, what is up? It's Primetime Poulton, aka the Marathon Man. Mark Poulton, writer, co-creator of Graveyard Shift. Our Indiegogo campaign just ended a couple days ago, and I want to thank everyone who pledged back the book, supported us. With your help, we hit almost $250,000 in pre-sales for Graveyard Shift Volume 2. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are help funding dreams. I also have another book that I did with my son, Sea Dog and Codename Killswitch. That's currently in demand on Indiegogo. Better hurry up now and pre-order your copy because we are ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. We're going to get this book fulfilled early. But that's not why we're here today. Today, I wanted to share my custom bound collection. These are the books that inspired me to be a comic book creator. I love 90s comics. I make no bones about it. 90s comics are the best. It's the most exciting time of the industry. Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little bit of a resurgence with 90s comics. But a few years ago, actually more like 10 years ago, I guess, I started getting my 90s comics, especially my extreme comics, custom bound by a company called Single Bound Studio. Unfortunately, they are no longer in business, so my my custom bound collection has hit a stall. I haven't been able to find anyone who does these softcover custom bound books. Everyone's doing hardcovers. So eventually I'm going to have to decide if I want to start doing hardcovers or not. But I thought I'd share these with you. Some of my friends, they've seen these before. I've posted them online. But this will give you a really nice look at the insides and what each one collects. Back in the day, I decided to do like a homage to the Marvel Essentials books. So these are my Extreme Essentials. We're going to start it off with Badrock. Front cover, Rob Liefeld artwork, the man. The back, these are all the books that make up this collection. We got Badrock and Company, some Badrock single issues, Violator Badrock, Grifter Badrock, Wolverine Badrock, Spider-Man. I mean, this was just such a fun time in the comic industry. Some early Todd Nauck artwork. I chose to keep the ads in these custom bound books because I feel like it really is a nice time capsule of that era, man. When guys were rock stars, man. I mean, look at young Rob there. He looks like a movie star, man. There's certainly no comics creators like that these days. I mean, except for maybe like in the crowdfunding stage with what we're doing with Graveyard Shift. Ethan's doing with Cyberfrog. It's an exciting time. But these are the books that inspired that type of work. More ads. Todd Toys. The Extreme Super Tour. This stuff's awesome, man. The ads are awesome. The artwork's awesome. Look at that. The Extreme Super Tour. Could meet Rob and Stephen Platt, man. How amazing would that be? More Badrock and Company. Evangeline ad. This stuff is just pure gold. This awesome double page spread. Come on, man. Mainstream comics need to wake up, man. The only guys doing this stuff right now are the crowdfunding guys. Come on, look at this. This looks awesome. But Single Bound Studios, man, they did an awesome job. It's a shame they're no longer in business. I think their website's still up, though. They refer people now to a company called Omaha. I haven't used their product yet. Maybe one day. Badrock Wolverine, awesome Liefeld cover. I remember this Spider-Man Badrock. This was such a great book. One issue was drawn by Marat Michaels. Another issue was drawn, I believe, by Dan Fraga. Yep, Dan Fraga. But yeah, this stuff's gold. Every now and then when I want some inspiration, I pull out these custom bound books. Next up we have Brigade. This was my very first one that I got custom bound, and at the time I was working with, I had done some work with Rob and Marat, so I took this to San Diego Comic-Con with me, and Rob and Marat signed it. I remember Marat, he pulled me aside and he was like, "Yo, Mark, we need to make these and sell them." I was like, "Don't we need permission?" He goes, "No, we'll just do it." Needless to say, I never took him up on that, but this was cool. When I was at the San Diego booth, Rob's booth, I got him to sign it, Marat to sign it, and Matt Hawkins showed up, and he was like, "Oh, this is my first published work," or his first. I think he was an editor or something, so I had him sign it as well. Early Image Comics, man. I love this stuff. This stuff's just classic. Zero issue. This awesome foil cover, man. Signed by Rob. I got to work on a Brigade relaunch back in 2010. So that was a big career highlight for me. Tried to pay as much respect to the original as I could. Oh, here you go. Here's my Matt Hawkins signature. He went by R. Matthew Hawkins back then, assistant editor. I love the old letters pages in the Extreme books. I remember they used to interview their creators. Dan Fraga, I think, has the most classic interview in in any of these Extreme books. Making up his own vocabulary and stuff. Classic. He seemed like a rock star. If only. Youngblood 94, man. Rob Liefeld, Jim Shooter. That would have been amazing. But this artwork, man, I can't say enough about it. It's just, even when nothing's going on, it still looks amazing and full of energy. Black and white ad. I recently did a review of Art T. Bear's new black and white book that I got on Indiegogo. What a great time for comics. Look at all these books. Wildcats crossover. Next up we have Brigade Volume 2. Have all of the original Brigade stuff bound. Look at this killer page, come on. Brigade and Wildcats together. The Chap Yep creator profile. Newman ad. Man, even the colors back then. This was like 25 years ago, and the colors are better than what Marvel's doing right now. Bloodpool. I actually picked up a old school Bloodpool trade paperback a few months ago. Had it on my nightstand in my bedroom for a while. Just flip through it every now and then. These ads are killer. Chapel #1, Crypt #1. If I saw books that look like that on the stands today, I'd pick them up. No doubt about it. Now we're into the era of Brigade where it was like a super team with Supreme and Glory and Images of Tomorrow, where it jumped to issue 25. Brigade source book. I always love the source books. They're really fun. Could try to talk John Malin into doing a Graveyard Shift source book. Basically, we just use the the trading cards that we have with all the information. This is an awesome Dan Fraga pinup. His signature, it's all good. Youngblood Year 1. So this is the, I included the Battlestone mini-series in here as well. For the longest time, original artwork from the Battlestone series was up on eBay. I kept telling myself I needed to buy some of that artwork, but I never did. Major regret. Would love to have it. I mean, I own some Marat artwork and some Rob artwork too, but it would have been killer to have something from the Battlestone series. Nightmare. I remember when that came out, man, that first issue cover was so hot. Battlestone 2. So I used the image from Battlestone 2 for the cover of this custom bound book, and I used Rob's artwork for Volume 1. I remember when I had Rob sign it, he thanked me for using his artwork for the cover. Funny stuff. Next up, Chapel, collected, custom bound edition. These are all the books that make up this edition. So much good stuff. I love all this like flashback stuff with their days in the military. Billy Zane and Jet Li were part of Chapel's unit back in the day. Look at this, man. How killer is that? The snake looks awesome. The colors are great. The lettering. This is a thing of beauty, man. Now, you know, don't hold me to this, but I believe the artist wasn't Calvin Irving. Was he the artist who died, I believe? He fell down an elevator shaft, I believe. I know someone from Extreme had a horrible death. But man, talented guy. Definitely has a death blow vibe to it. Operation Night Strike, man. What a cool image. Operation Night Strike is a team that I just loved. And when I started writing Evangeline, I incorporated that into Priest's backstory. I made Priest a member of Operation Night Strike with Chapel and Battlestone. When Owen and I were doing the book, we even hid Al Simmons in an issue too. You'll have to look, like Priest has his foot locker out and someone opens it up and there's like a picture of the whole Operation Night Strike crew and Al Simmons is part of it. Just a little Easter egg for fans. Man, this stuff's killer. It holds up today. Killer art, over-the-top action. Yes, please. This is how I like my comics. I think if you read, like, my books, Graveyard Shift, upcoming book, U.S. Assassin, even Sea Dog, man, this is the type of action I like to have in my books. Another great double-page spread. Man, I feel like after flipping through this, I'm going to have to do a reread of all the Chapel issues. This is just incredible stuff. I think comic companies need to bring back booth bait models too. Who was the Glory model? For some reason I want to say she was a Los Angeles Rams cheerleader, but I'm not 100% sure about that. This is when Awesome released Chapel. I think John Stinsman's the artist of this. John and I became friends for a while when I was doing Evangeline. He became a big fan of the relaunch that Owen and I were doing. and we had talked about working together. Unfortunately, just never materialized. But he's a killer artist. Operation Night Strike. Some of my favorite sound effects to use. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Prophet Chapel. Nice Blindside ad. Marat Michael's original character. Marat needs to bring Blindside back. He relaunched it a few years ago. It's probably more than a few years ago. He needs to do more with it. Come on, more Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Come on. You know it's about to go down. So that's my chapel collection. Next up, this is a small one. Maximage. Not many issues to it. Just 7 issues. But I always loved this cover by Rob, and I was like, let's make a Maximage custom bound book. Fabio Laguna was the artist back then. Got to meet Fabio, I think, back in, I want to say 2008, maybe? I don't know. I believe he was the artist on, he did some work on the Don Bluth Dragon's Lair comic, which Arcana Studio, who I used to work for, did. For some reason, I feel like I met Fabio. But this is just a short little collected edition, 7 issues. Fun stuff. We're going to get into the heavy hitter books in a minute. Priest ad. I love me some Priest. Alright, there's Maximage. Alright guys, we're in the home stretch. 2 more custom bound books to look at from my Extreme collection. Youngblood. This is Roger Cruz era Youngblood. Always loved this image of Shaft. It's from Youngblood #1, Volume 2. These are all the books that make up the collection. I threw the Youngblood X-Force crossovers in there, as well as Extremely Youngblood and Youngblood Super Special. But I always liked the storyline for the Roger Cruz run, and his artwork was great. I know he was swiping Joe mad. But this is great stuff. Great double page spread. Jericho. In the comments, let me know what you think of the Roger Cruz run of Youngblood. I mean, it'll never be comparable to Rob's run, but it was fun. This issue was a crossover with Shadow Hawk for the Shadow Hunt storyline. Always liked that Shadow Hawk sort of had ties to Youngblood, even as recently as the Image United series. I think he was supposed to become a member of Youngblood before it got scrapped. Youngblood X-Force. Fun comics like these are a rarity these days. X-Force Youngblood. Great colors in this. Youngblood issue 14. My buddy Clint Holinsky, who does Sea Dog with me, he drew an issue of Youngblood, but unfortunately I think it was one of the issues that never saw the light of day. Between, I guess, what was it, issues 11, 12, and 13 maybe. Extremely Youngblood. Kind of like our John and I, we do Little Graveyard Shift. Youngblood Super Special. Alright, so this is the end of the Youngblood Volume 2 run. Now all we have left is, this is the main event, man. This is my all-time favorite book, my prized possession in the realm of comics. My Captain America, Fighting American, custom-bound book. I loved Rob's run on Captain America. I was so sad when it stopped. Then I heard about Fighting American, and I was psyched. This is a cool book because it also includes Agent America, the preview book that Rob put out. I had this bound in with it as well. But Heroes Reborn was an exciting time for fandom, man. To hear that Rob and Jim were going back to Marvel. This is, in my opinion, it's the best Captain America comics Marvel ever put out. Probably the best-selling Captain America books they ever put out, too. Just cool stuff. Awesome artwork. Killer action. Not a lot of talking heads in these books. Just all out energy, action. Not too wordy. There's nothing I hate more than opening up a comic and seeing the artwork covered with words. And that's coming from a writer. Awesome team up, Captain America and Cable. This is my go-to book whenever I want some inspiration. Here we go. Agent America. It's a funny story with this preview book. I bought it on eBay a long time ago. I placed a bid, and I got a message from my friend Sean Arendt, who at the time, I didn't really know him that well. I met him at Wizard World Chicago 2007. That was it. He seemed like a nice guy. He messaged me and he said, "Hey, are you my eBay name is Poulton 316. He said, "Are you the Poulton 316 that's bidding on Agent America?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, since it's you, I won't bid against you." I was like, "Oh, thanks." So I ended up getting the book, and they sent me 2 copies by accident. So I messaged Sean and said, "Send me your address. I'm sending you a book." And we've been friends ever since. Best friends, pretty much. Now we're on the Fighting American. Look at this, man. So amazing. Rob and Platt. We got Smash. Years ago, Rob planned on doing a Smash crossover event with his characters. Marat and I did a Brigade Smash. I think we were the only creative team that actually finished our book. So the project never saw the light of day. Somewhere I have all the artwork on a hard drive. Dogs of War. I think. That just may be regular. Yeah, this is still regular. Fighting American. Platt would do the Dogs of War series later. Then you got Ed McGuinness. This series made me an Ed McGuinness fan. Great artwork. I have these action figures. Fighting American Holiday Special. Now we're in the Dogs of War. Written by Jim Starlin. So amazing. Look at this stuff, man. If you don't have this, pick these issues up, man. The artwork's incredible. You never get an ending to the storyline, but just enjoy it for the pretty pictures. Oh, and then I included the interview that Rob and Jim did with the old Marvel Vision magazine. This was kind of like Marvel's version of previews when they left Diamond for for a short while. So I even put bonus content into my extra features into my custom bound books. So there you have it, guys. That's my extreme Rob Liefeld custom bound collection. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notifications for more great wrestling and comic book content from Primetime Poulton. Thanks, guys.